Hi, welcome back. All right, in the first video, I told you what I was going to do with this channel. In the second video, I told you why. But in this video, I just want to give you a quick bit of my history so that you have an idea of what I've been through so that you decide if you even want to listen to me. So, let's go back to when I was 13 years old. I was coming home from school on the school bus, and a buddy of mine was sitting next to me, and he was counting some money he had in his pocket. Now, it was probably only $5. But to me, at 13, that was a lot of money because I never had money in my pocket. So I said to him, Jim, how did you make that money? And he said, well, I deliver what was called the North Hills News Record, which was a 3-day-a-week newspaper published in my hometown. He said, I deliver this paper, and these are my tips that I receive each week. And I said, well, how did you get that job? And he said, well, I called them and said, can I deliver the newspaper? So I was let off at my school bus, the next school bus stop, and between there and my house is only a couple hundred yards. I came up with a plan between my bus stop and my back door on what I was going to tell my mom and dad of why I was going to start a paper route. I walked in the back door and I said, Mom, I need the newspaper's, the Pittsburgh Press phone number because I want to start delivering the Pittsburgh Press. Pittsburgh Press was delivered 7 days a week. I figured if he was able to make that much money in 3 days a week, I could make 2.5 times that much money delivering papers 7 days a week. We called the newspaper, and I got a newspaper route right near my home. I spent the first few days walking around those neighborhoods, going door to door, asking folks if they would like me to deliver their newspaper. That was my first experience with marketing. It was literally door to door, hard selling, newspaper delivery. I started delivering the newspaper within a week or so, and what I did was I laid out my route so that I only had to do a continuous circle on my bike to deliver the newspapers. I didn't want to double back. I didn't want to have to backtrack because that would cause me time to be wasted instead of delivering papers or not working at all. So I wanted to make sure I got as efficient as possible. That was my first experience in strategic planning. After the first week of delivering papers, I had to collect my money. So I went door to door again and I said, you need to pay me X number of dollars for the newspapers I've delivered. They would give me the money. I would hand them a receipt. I would pay the newspaper for the papers that I delivered, and what was left over was my profit. That was my first experience in bookkeeping or accounting or finance. I had to collect money, give change in a receipt, pay for my expenses, and keep the difference. I had that route for a couple years. Every job I ever had after that, I considered my own business. Even when I bartended, I considered that I was actually running my own business within somebody else's business because everything I learned running that paper route was applicable to every other position or employment I've ever had since. Find a customer, make them happy, collect their money, and you'll get paid more than the people that don't make them happy. The same thing was true of bartending. When somebody came into the restaurant, I had to initiate conversation with them. I had to give them what they wanted in the way that they wanted it. And if it worked out and they were happy, I received more money in the form of a tip. When I started my business in 1992, I applied those exact same concepts that I learned at 13 as a paper boy. I had to go out and find clients. I had to strategically plan how I was going to offer the service that I was offering. I had to keep my expenses low. I had to pay the bills that I acquired offering my services. I had to collect money from my clients, and I got to keep the difference. So what I'm going to teach you in these videos is the exact same thing, how it will apply to your business. Everything I've ever applied in business comes down to those same basic principles that I learned as a paper boy. Stick around. The next video, I'm going to tell you how to start your business with the idea that you have today. Until then, have a great week.